All right. Saturday morning, Phoenix, Arizona, and it's actually a little chilly today. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host here, Dr. Joe Blake of the On-Pod Podcast, and welcome to a place where we hope you get your financial point across. And yes, it's kind of cold here in Phoenix, and a good year here. Can't believe it. You know, it's what is the temperature here? 52 degrees. For us, that is cold. You got to wear a jacket when you go outside. More like cold weather, but hey, it happens. Hey, welcome to the day. We're excited about being here. We're going to share the second part of our first podcast for the year, the purpose-driven hour, investing your time wisely. And for this year, we're talking about the economy of being and creating a richer life, and how to increase your financial productivity of the economy of being. So this is actually a 3-year journey. So we'll talk about economy of being here. Next year is going to be doing, and then the following year after that, the economy of having. But this year is all about the economy of being. You're talking about creating your world with the words that you speak. So this is a 3-year journey. This is the first year on it, but we're talking about this year, the economy of being, having a richer life. All right. And so this first lesson here, there's a second part of it, and this is the purpose-driven hour. Okay. So I'm gonna bring my son on. I have 4 children, but that's my oldest son, Joe Blake. Joe Blake the third. Are you there, son? Uh-oh.
Good morning.
Hey, how you doing today, son?
I'm doing well. I'm in Georgia. It's 76 degrees out here, so that's a little warm for us. I'm sorry, 65 degrees.
65?
Yeah.
How the grandkids doing?
Oh, they doing fine. I got Joe right here. He's ready to eat. So I'm in the kitchen this morning, trying to whip up some breakfast.
Okay. That's Joe Blake the fourth there. What's going on, man? What you doing, grandson?
You're a little camera shy, but we're working on that.
Okay. Well, that's cool. All right. So today's lessons, like I said, we're going to continue on from last week. We normally have my daughter joins us too, my baby girl. So I got my oldest son and my baby girl. She's a major in the Army, so she's got major duties. Little baby there. So she's got major duties. She texted me earlier and said she can't be there because she's working. So that's fine. So, but she says she'll be here next week. All right. So we can go ahead and continue now on our lesson. We left off on talking about specific. Can I get this up, boy? Specifics of measuring goals. We talk about specific measurable goals, and there we go. All right, we talked about specific measurable goals, and I mentioned how I created defined Camp 10 goals, and I talked about Camp 10 goals were clarity, adaptable, measurable, practical, and relevant goals. And 10 elements that went into it. Talking about ownership, timely consideration, feedback, motivation, collaboration. Those are my 10 elements. And these goals are principles that can help you better understand your organization and create an actionable goals that are practical, relevant, and conducive to effective and personal. Oh, those are both my grandbabies, 2 more. That's Joel and Jaden. So see, When my son, which is Joey, was younger, I did the same thing with him. Whenever I taught or whatever went out speaking, I took my son with me, which is the big guy in the middle there, and I had him with me teaching. And my goal was when Joey was young, was to bring him up and be a strong man, to be able to learn and teach and grow. And he did, and he's doing the same thing now. Whenever I went somewhere teaching, whenever I went somewhere speaking, I had my son with me. I had my son with me, and he has his own master's degree. He's working on his own Ph.D. and he's a military veteran like me as well. He's an Air Force veteran, and he teaches at Georgia Tech as well. So he's doing the exact same thing, but that his dad is doing, and he's followed those same goals. He had goals in his own life. His goals were clear, and it was adaptable because he's a family man like his daddy. I appreciate my son. Measurable. He highlighted his values in his life. He had different qualities he wanted to quantify, and they were practical. So they followed them. So that's I appreciate it, son.
No problem.
Yeah.
Thank you for your leadership and your guidance along the way.
Yeah. So I mean, I did the same thing because I remember I used to take you to the different Starbucks.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have those goals and set those examples, so your family is right along. It goes right along with you. So some of these things we talked about last week, I just wanted to make it solid and everything. So have those goals, have those core values for yourself and your family, and it'll go well with you. The other short-term and long-term goals, I talk about the 4 windows of success. And those 4 windows, that's a short-term, long-term, fun, which is retirement, and then I love me. Those goals have certain meanings behind it. There's a short-term goal that's a mental window goal. That mental window represents your intellectual intelligence. There's your ability to analyze reasons and solve problems. That short-term goal. That the long-term goal is a physical window. That window represents your physical intelligence, involves your body health and well-being because you have that long-term goal. Retirement is the emotional goal because retirement, you look back and you reflect on what you've done in your life. This year, I'll be 60. Next June 22nd, I'll be 60. I look back at my life, and we all go through this sometimes, but I look back at my life, I look back and see what I've created, what I've influenced, and what I've done. And I see how I've influenced those things. And that's what you do when you reach retirement. You look back and see what you actually created. Look back at my son, look at my daughters, and see where they are. And I'm glad what I'm able to leave back for them because of where they are. And then the spiritual side, that's the I love me, we love us, because me and my wife, we get to travel. But that's all because we set up those financial things in life, financial goals in life, that each year we get to go someplace. Like last year, we took care of Cupcake's wedding. had a great part in that. So you got to plan for those things in life. Like, at least, son, you don't have a girl just yet, right?
Right.
I said just yet because you and the wife still got to work with that one out, right?
Yeah, we still working that out.
I know anybody's there. I don't know about that, bro. But all those things, those goals you have to think about before it even comes to place. And if you don't start financially thinking about that, I mean, you mess yourself up. I sat down with some clients yesterday, son. Now, they are in retirement. And guess how much they have set aside for retirement?
100,000.
And the company, the company I work for, they knew the company 40 years ago.
Interesting.
Yes. They knew the company 40 years ago. They still with us now. They're still with us, but they did not do any investments. They wish they would have. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. And they said it was okay to use them as an example. They said they woulda, coulda, shoulda. And now they still got to. They did retire on their jobs, but they wish they could. They wish they coulda, shoulda, because they would have had more and could have left more. And now they at the age down there, because they're my age, they're 67. But they said, had they listened a long time ago, they would have more and done more. So you got to catch yourself as an individual and know what you need to set aside. So now, wrong button. So that's where we talked about the 80-20 rule. That's a Pareto principle. 80% of your results will come from 20% of your efforts, and you can set those funds aside for that. We talked about this last week. So I want to keep on going. So I want to get to this one point here. The role of prioritization. Understanding how to prioritize effectively what you maximize for your results. So here, this is where we're going to park it. We're going to park it here. Identify urgent versus important tasks. Determine which tasks require immediate attention and those that require long-term goals. So what's urgent versus what's important? How do you distinguish between the two? What are your thoughts about that?
They're almost interchangeable. I mean, because you got to determine what's important and then the level of importance to figure out what's urgent.
Okay. So distinguishing what's urgent versus what's important is a foundational skill, and it's you do have to understand between the two, because the urgent versus important, it's like it is an aspect of life, but it's the two concepts that kind of drive, but they yield different long-term effects. Urgent tasks determine our attention. They determine, what we focus on. They focus on the now, what's happening right now. They determine, they're like deadlines. They're like crises, and it's visible. And it determines it demands your attention right now. It can lead to, that's what urgent is. It can lead to visible demands. It can lead to stress. It can lead to getting busy. You need to get busy right now or whatever you're doing. That's urgent. You need to get busy right now because it needs a protective. You need to manage it right now. So, like an urgent response is your phone rings. You got to answer it right now. That's an urgent response. Customer complaint. You got to manage that customer complaint right now. Fixing a broken system. You got to manage that right now. That's an urgent response. Your house is on fire. When you got to take care of that?
Yeah.
Right now. your house on fire. You got the fire department needs to come in right now. So that's what makes something urgent. So those are urgent things. Important tasks, they contribute to a long-term goal, mission, or value. They have deadlines. They impact your long-term results, but they have deadlines that your growth. Now they have long-term objectives and strategies, and they have planning to put in place to help you in the future. So you can look at those. If you don't take advantage, if you don't take care of those, they can become urgent. So if you have a long-term goal, say now, like fire safety can become urgent. So now this, I use firefighter, man, because that's where your daddy's at. I used to be a firefighter. Now, if your fire grill is more than 10, it's supposed to be 10 feet away from your house.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're cooking on your grill and it's more than 10, it's like 5 feet or closer to your house, you know what could happen?
Set your house on fire, right?
And there you go. You're not following the rules, and poof, your house can go up.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be mindful of that. So it may not be, immediate danger, but you increase the likelihood of frying your crib up. So if you neglect it, it can lead to an urgent response.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you got to be mindful of that. So and then it can lead to a crisis. All right. So now, how does that relate to that golden hour? How do you think that relates to that golden hour?
You got to be able to distinguish what's urgent, what's important, so you can prioritize, your objectives and what things need to be accomplished.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because they have what's called a Eisenhower matrix. the streamline urgent and important things you need to do first. Important things you can schedule. Urgent things you can, some things that are you can delegate. But there's this one principle that another principle that we had in the fire department. It was called the golden hour.
Okay.
You ever heard that term before?
No.
All right. Yeah, like I said, fire department probably can be all these things. The golden hour. As soon as an accident occurs, as soon as someone gets like an accident or injured or what have you, from the time that accident occurs until the time we get that person to the hospital. If you get that person to the hospital within that hour, they stand a greater chance to be survival. All right. So if they get in an accident, say they get in an accident and it's 11:30. All right. So the accident occurs at 11:30. So we have an hour to get from where they are, get from the fire station to where they are, get them out of if they're trapped in a vehicle, get them out of that vehicle, and then get them to the hospital, the nearest hospital, within an hour.
Okay.
And once we get them there within that hour of everything happening, they stand a greater chance of survival. So we're talking about the purpose-driven hour. In the very beginning, we read this. We had shared the scripture of what Jesus said. What did Jesus say? He said, "If you guys," and I'm doing it in colloquial terms. He said, "What? You guys are not here? You can't stay with me for how long? An hour." So that 1 hour, Jesus only needed you to be with me 1 hour to pray. So all he wanted was 1 hour. Yeah, all he recommended was 1 hour. So that 1 hour of praying with Jesus, that 1 hour to save someone's life, that 1 hour to talk about you and your wife, or you and your partner, talking about your financial situation. That's what you need.
Mm-hmm.
To talk about what your family's going to do, and how often you do that 1 hour. You can do it daily. You can do it weekly. You can do it monthly. But you need to at least spend an hour talking about your finance. That would help. But if you're not praying about it with Jesus, you're not talking about it with one another, that could be a shortfall. That could be a shortfall. And if you missed out on that, that's for your family, that can be detrimental. So you got to be mindful of that, and that could the purpose of all of this to understand what's shortfall. I mean, that can be that you missed out on. Oh, one last thing I want to share about this is doing something like at a minimum. Here we go. Monthly. Reflect on the time you spend on various tasks. Compare them against your outcome to achieve effectiveness. At least monthly. What do you think about that, son? How often should you sit down and just talk about things like that?
I think it's important to talk about it. And scheduling it. If not monthly, maybe like weekly or so. But at the same time, I believe in moderation. You don't want to get to the point where you're talking about it every hour. So you need a balance there too. So some people are at one extreme where they don't talk about it at all, and then you got some folks that are at another extreme where they talk about it 24/7. So you gotta. So if by sticking to a schedule, coming up with a schedule, and sticking to that schedule, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, monthly for an hour is good.
Mm-hmm.
You're at least talking about it.
Right.
Yeah, talking about where you want to go, where you want to be, and because in the beginning you may not have a lot, but in the end you'll be in your golden zone, and then you're good. There was times where I wasn't in my golden zone, and it was not good. But as you get older, because you worked it out in the beginning, and at the end you're good to go. You're like, man, this is a piece of cake. Now, I look at you, son. You don't know how far ahead of the game you are than your daddy was. You are in such a good position, man. I look your brother and your sister. I'm all jealous of y'all because y'all so further ahead than your daddy was.
Thanks, Dad.
Y'all so much farther ahead than me. I'm like, man.
Well, we wouldn't be here without you.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and land this plane and get this done, and then so I'm putting you in the background, and I'll be right back. Okay, son.
Okay.
All right. So to finish things up here, hey, there's a QR code there. You can scan this down, scan it, become a subscription. Subscription. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to what we got to do. Got a great information. As I mentioned, this is a journey that we're taking. It's gonna be like a 3-year journey, but this is the start to it. I always got great information. I always do research to make sure you get information that's gonna really pound in there the knowledge, wisdom, understanding as it relates to financial literacy, which is gaining access to economic information and then making use of those concepts. That's financial literacy. Financial legacy, which is the second book, is taking that information that you've gained and then pass it on to your loved ones. Because you put in legacy in your family. And financial legacy lasts for generations. So we're creating this knowledge that you're going to be able to go from one generation to the next generation. Take the knowledge that you gain and you created a legacy in your family. So that's what we're generating. And now I'm writing my third book of the trilogy, which is Financial Legend. And that will come out. I'll probably have it ready by June of this year. So I'm writing the third books of the trilogy. God gave me those 3 books. And I'm going to bring that out. So you'll have the whole trilogy of what God has given me as it relates to finance. And Joseph, that's from the Bible. That guy, that my name just happens to be Joseph. And I just, God has blessed me with the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to make finance and the Bible real, relevant, and important in people's lives. Thank you for listening. Thank you. I got my son. I love the fact that my son and my daughter helped me with this. And it's just wonderful to be able to share. So with that, this has been Dr. Joe Blake with the Accidental Financial Literacy, the On Point for Finance, and hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. We'll see you again next week. Same bad channel. I'm old, man. Batman would have said. Same bad channel. Some great information about financial literacy. See you next week. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful week and weekend.